How we doing, everybody? I'm missing my hat. Where's my hat? I need a hat. That's more like it. There we go. How we doing, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Getting Jiggy. I'm Will with a hat now. Today we are playing a little bit more Star Trek Star Realms. So on Tuesday, I played Star Trek Star Realms against the original Star Realms challenge, basically solo mode. This time, of course, we are going to be going up against the actual Borg versus those other assimilation guys we did on Tuesday. With that said, let's go ahead and flip over. We'll give a brief rundown of how this mode works. Which camera do I want? That is the camera I want, but it's not quite where I want it because I moved things while I was off camera. So let's slide that just a tad. I want to make sure that my hit point dial is in the window for you guys. Still working on trying to figure out what's up with my camera. Don't know. So in Star Trek Star Realms, the Borg Invasion, as it is called, you are basically going to be going up against a Borg opponent. In solo, you only have this mode, which he basically has 25 hit points. The 4 cards is not needed. The 4 cards is the hand size if you're doing PvP, but there are 2 additional. There's a 50 and a 75. Basically, if you're playing at higher player counts. But we are not. We are playing solo, so we're going against this. 2-player also goes against the 25 hit point, or I guess authority. All right. So the difference between this and your regular Star Realms is there's a couple things. First are these force fields. So when you do an attack, whatever faction does the highest damage, this force field is going to go 1. Once the end of the player turn, if there are 4 force fields, then they will get removed. This, I've heard, for solo is a little bit restricting. I think people are suggesting maybe when it gets to 3 remove. We're going to play with the 4, see how we do. The second thing is there's a deck over here called Hive Integration. So the way this works is we have in our deck some drones. The drones, when they come out, are going to basically attach to us, and they're eventually going to start taking our cards from our discard pile based on the number of drones. So the only cards they will not take, of course, are the starting cards because they have no value, no cost. So, for example, this right here, say this was in my discard pile, it has a cost of 1. As soon as 1 drone goes in, he would take this and he will then assimilate it, right? He will take it back to the collective. These are bad things when they come out. They clear, I have to double check. I think they clear at the end of the round. Place a hive card that matches the most faction of the board, immediately trigger the effect. I'll have to double check that. I think these get removed because otherwise they wouldn't come back each time. But that's neither here nor there. But basically, you immediately trigger this effect if they assimilate one of your ships. Now, if they assimilate another one of those ships, this is where I'm thinking they don't go away, because I did read that if they assimilate a second ship, then it doesn't trigger again. So maybe it is just a one-time effect. The next thing is how the assimilation works in the collective. So while they are on the Borg ship, they are being assimilated. You should have an opportunity to rescue them by doing attack damage equal to their cost, and then you acquire the card. So it's basically the same as doing in the card row. Once they go into the collective, then they are basically assimilated, right? They are part of the collective now. We have no way of saving them. That is basically their attack. So the more cards that end up in the collective, the more damage that the Borg is going to be able to do to us. Now, there is an order of operation in their attack. If, for example, we had a outpost, so here, if we have a, these are locations. So if I had an outpost, the outpost will block all damage. Oh, no, that's not an outpost. That's not. I was trying to see if my Gambits were an outpost. One of the Gambits, I think, is an outpost. the outpost will stop all damage if they don't have enough in their collective to defeat it. If not, then we'll go down in order of operation. And the final thing, of course, is applying the damage to me as the player. So our best bet is to get some outposts out because that kind of will stop them right from the get-go. One other thing that I've heard in solo is rough is, of course, the nothing changes. So 2-player versus solo, nothing changes. And I've heard people have struggled with the initial deck in both co-op and solo. So what I've done is I took a variant, which seems like how the game probably should have been written, to where the drones are not in the first sixth of the deck. So basically the top, I don't know, maybe about 8 or so cards don't have any drones. That way, during your first turn or two, you're not immediately getting drones that would then immediately take the card that you just acquired, right? So I did do that to try to give us a little bit, at least so we can play a couple rounds. I don't die in the first 5 rounds. All right, with that said, we're gonna have to go ahead and go. If I remember correctly, unlike regular Star Realms, they do go first. So let me check their order and let me double check that Hive integration card. Simulate a card, place it, immediately effect, in PvP. Okay, at the start of the turn, they are returned to their pile. Okay, so at the start of the Borg turn, it does go back to their pile. The order of operation, just trying to remember. Gambits, there are 30 total drones. That's another thing that somebody's recommending as a variant, is that you do 7 times the number of players plus 2. That seems kind of fair as well. But I asked whether or not they had tested that to see how well that worked out. So I didn't play that way. Here we go. Work together to defeat the Borg. That's the setup. Where is it at? Force fields. Ties, drones, play order. Here we go. Each round, the Borg goes first. Okay, so I knew it did say, so in normal Star Realms, you can play with the heroes going first, or you can actually play on expert, which is when the bad guys go first. So you could start with a full 5 deck. That's a suggestion I made in that same WGG forum, is maybe play by the Star Realms rules, where you can take a couple turns, and then after you take those turns, then throw the drones in. But we'll see. We'll see how this works out. I may like it the way it is. I may not. So let us shuffle. Shuffly. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as our starting hand. Because again, I'm playing Star Realm, so we get to draw all 5. And then the Borg goes first. So Borg turn. Move all assimilated cards. You don't have any. Move the Borg ship 1 space towards the highest cost. So the highest cost is here, which is the Defiant. When the Borg will then assimilate the card. So that goes here. Place the matching factions Hive. So it assimilated. So we're immediately going to do the first Hive integration. The Borg gain authority equal to the cost of the assimilated card. So now, I guess he can go over his starting value. So we're going to go to... Yeah, that's not good. 29. The Borg is already stronger. All right. The Borg attack each player separately for their full combat. He currently has 0 combat because there's no cards in the collective. All right. And then... Yep. So then that's the end of their turn. All right. So I have just a lot of recruit. Oh, I'm going to pull this out. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 recruit. I almost feel like I need to get a location out. That's what I was saying, right? I need to get locations or outposts out. Unlike normal Star Realms, you also need to diversify, right? You need to make sure you have a lot of different ones. Otherwise, you won't be able to do damage. So this one, when I play, I can heal or get recruit. This one, I can get 1 recruit or discard 2 cards, and then draw that many cards. So, or do I want to just start getting me some attacky tackies? I got 4. Target opponent discards a card. When I need to make them discard, They may instead move the Borg ship one space to the left or right. Not sure what good that would do. Not sure what good that would do. So, I won't be able to take this out, so they're immediately going to assimilate one card. Let's do this. Let's do the Galler class. And then we will go ahead and get another card. And then for the 1, we will get the straight up Romulan attacky. All right. So there we go. That was my turn. Draw back up to 5. So now we go back to the Borg. So now the Borg is going to assimilate this card. So now it has 1 card in its collective. Doesn't really matter the points. I guess maybe I'll do it this way. And then move the Borg towards the highest cost. 1 space towards the highest. So it's currently here. And the highest is actually the one to the right. So unfortunately it's doing this, which means it is assimilating this. Well, at least it didn't assimilate the 6. All right. They will assimilate a card, place the matching. Oh, I forgot this would have gone away because it was the beginning of their turn. And then, so this one's what they're doing. All players choose and discard cards from their hand based on the cost of the assimilated card. So the cost of the card was 4. I have to discard 2 cards. Holy cow. Did I get rid of my recruit and just started wailing on them? Because these are neutral, which means I won't be able to use them again for a while. Yeah, we'll discard the 2 recruit. I want to start putting damage on it. There's a Star Trek Star Realms. Why did I buy the base game when this awesome version exists? Down with the Borg. Yeah, Puppet, this is newer. This is a newer set. I think it released the end of last year. The Borg then released after that. So the expansion released after that. All right. So the assimilated card did that. The Borg attack each player. So their current attack is 1. The order of operation, outpost, don't have an outpost. Eliminate a player, he can't eliminate me. Attack the player's location, I have no locations. So now he's going to attack me for 1. Or they are going to, it's they. We are Borg. We are Borg. I prefer Star Trek Realms over the original. It's the same game. This is the first time I've played the Borg, so I'm going to see how I like this compared to going up against the challenges. There's a lot more to keep up with. I can tell you that. There's a lot more to keep up with. All right, so that is that. So now it is my turn. Begin. So there's no way I'm getting that back. I don't have four recruit yet. So I do have 2 attack, 1 recruit. So 1 recruit. Do I want to get the Jem'Hadar, or do I want to go? I need diversity, so I'm going to go with the Klingon battle cruiser. That. Ooh, that's a very expensive. He's gonna take that next. Oh, well, actually, he's only going to move 1 to the right, so actually he'll take this one. All right, so I do 2 damage to them. 1, 2, and they put up a force field for neutral. I currently can't hurt them with neutral cards anymore. All right. Oh, David, I appreciate last night. So I did find out. I was going to tell you in Discord, but I don't think I have your name on Discord. If you want to message me on Discord, that way I have it. But yeah, so it turned out like my entire stream was corrupted, not only on YouTube, but also my local copy was corrupted. So I have no clue what was going on last night. I blame it on playing Final Girl, and my computer and everything else was possessed. Is what we'll say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But yeah, so the whole video was unusable. So I'll playing again next Wednesday. When you decided to buy this, did you hear resistance is futile? All right, so we got recruit, and we do have a little bit of attackiness on the next turn. All right, so back to the Borg. They're going to assimilate this. I should probably have a die. I guess I could do this for now. If it gets too big, then I'll have to get a die to calculate. This goes away. All right. So the Borg is now going to move towards the highest cost card, which is the 8. This is going to go there. It's going to assimilate this. And that there. The assimilation, we got that stupid hive again. It is a 3. A 3, we discard 1 card, luckily. Luckily, this time we only discard 1. We'll get rid of 1 of our recruits. Was that with the Bareth video? Yeah, that was on my Bareth video. Yeah, so I unlisted it, made it private because it's just, I mean, somebody could watch it if they're willing to listen to moments of silence, moments of auditory noise, me fixing the camera like 2 or 3 times. Yeah, it just wasn't good. So I'll play that again on Wednesday. All right, so did that. Now they're going to attack. So attack for 2. I have nothing to block it, so we don't need to go through all those steps. 1, 2. So that is that. Back to me. So I have 2 recruit and 4. Oh, now I get to move. So I can move them so they don't take a card. Like if I didn't want them to take this outpost, I can move them to the right. That way they don't take the outpost. Gotcha. Now the moving makes sense because then they'll just take this here. Which, what will that do? Player with the highest authority immediately takes damage equal to the cost of the assimilated card. Yep. So I think I am going to do that. I'm going to, so I get 4. Now I can scrap a card. Should I scrap now? Yeah, let's go ahead and scrap now. Scrap pile's over here to the side because I currently have it covered up. So scrap that. So that's this one. So we're going to do 4, which is enough to take this out, which is 3. So we get this. They can't do this again because they already did it. So we're good there. Excited to see a demon in the shadows. Looks like such a good scenario. Still sitting on my shelf taunting me. Yeah, my entire final girl is sitting on my shelf taunting me. Or I should say sitting behind me taunting me. That was my first gameplay ever. And it just didn't go well. So actually it's probably good that I get to do another replay. So they can't do that again because it was already out there. All right, I do have 1 left. So I can do 1 more damage because it is not neutral. So that goes to 16. And now we can't hit with Jem'Hadar. All right, so that is the 2 things we can't hit him with anymore. All right. I get 1 recruit, 2 recruit, 3 recruit. 3 recruit. All right. Oh yeah, the discard moved 1 to the right. All right. So 3 recruit, 3 recruit. So I want him to take this because I don't care about that hive integration. So I'm not going to get that. So I can do this for 1. And hope a 2 comes out. Another 1 comes out. Do I do that or do I get another neutral? I think I want to get another neutral. So we're going to get another neutral. All right. Because again, I don't want too many of the same thing because I can't use them on every turn. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That was everything, right? 1, 2, 3. Yep. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still no drones. So again, this is why I'm playing that variant with the drones being down a little bit, because it at least gives you a couple turns where you can actually do something. Because once those drones come out, you could have multiple hive integrations happening all at the same time. So this goes away. They're going to move towards the highest. The highest is that 8, so they are going to move over 1. They're going to assimilate this, which brings this out. So I take damage equal to the assimilation, which is 2. And we got our drone. We got our drone. So I have 1 drone. 1 drone. Do I have a card that costs 1? I do. Actually, I have 2 cards that cost 1. So which one do I want to lose? So Jem'Hadar is going to make me discard cards. Klingons is scrap a card in your hand or discard pile. That I don't mind. We're going to do the Klingons. Now we have the Klingons. He is going to assimilate this. Now he has 2 cards there that he assimilated. This goes to the discard pile. And I can scrap a card in my hand or discard pile. So do I want what's in my hand? 3 recruit. Yeah, I'm going to keep the attack. And we're going to do the scout ship. Actually, let me not put those in the regular scrap pile because I'll have to dig those out later. So we'll just put those off to the side. All right. So that was our first drone. You can get multiple drones. Like this could come down again. Trade row is 6 instead of OG 5. Oh, you're right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Well, no, it is 5. This is the 2 calls card, which always exists. Yeah. So David, this is the 2 calls card that always exists. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So we're still on their turn. Now they're going to attack. They attack for 2. Again, I have nothing to stop that. 1, 2. And that's the end of the turn. So to get these back is going to cost me 3 attack. 3 attack. Because I don't want him to get it because then he ups to 4. All right, so I have 3 recruit. Or 3 trade. And then I do have 4 attack. So I have enough attack. This attack. Can this attack work on the assimilated, or is he blocked? So now I got to read the force field. Does the force field block the assimilation? These force fields make Borg ships, drones, and assimilated cards invulnerable to damage from a faction. Okay. So I can't attack with my neutral, which is fine because my Romulan does 3. So we will do the Romulan for 3. That means both of these come to me. And then we will do, this is basically a waste. I can't do anything with this because they have a force field to that. Now this is, like I said at the very beginning, this is where there is a suggestion for solo that you should only go to 3, because in a 2-player game, you get to switch back and forth. So one person could be concentrating on 2 factions and you could concentrate on the other. And by the end of the second player's turn, these would fall off, right? In solo, you don't have that. So until I either attack with a Klingon or a Federation, these don't go away. So I'm going to play that way, but I think that variant that somebody suggested is probably the way to play this one. All right, so that is, yeah, that's everything. Oh no, I get 3 recruit. 3 recruit. So I need Klingon that does damage. So we're going to do the Klingon. And there's another drone. So the drone comes into, oops, hang on. Earlier I did that wrong. I need to keep drawing until I fill the slot. Luckily there was no other drone. Otherwise that would have been bad. So now I have 2 drones. So they are going to take a 2 calls card. I don't want them to take the Klingon. Here, I'll just have them take the neutral card. Why not? I don't really need that. Oh, hang on, they got to assimilate it. Assimilation. And then both of them get discarded. I probably shouldn't put these. I'm going to put these over here too because I don't want to mix them. I have to sort them out later. All right. That wasn't too bad. And then I have 1 recruit left. I guess we'll get the Jem'Hadar. That goes there. All right. So back to them. Both of our hive. Oh. There isn't a neutral integration, so there wasn't something to play there. And I'm out of drink. I need to take a quick break and fill that back up before I continue. Don't know why lately. My throat's just been like really phlegmy. All right, so Borg is going. They're going to move towards the highest cost card. They're already at the highest cost card. There is a tie. When there is a tie, I think they stay where they are because they're already at the highest cost card in a tie. Let's see here. Drones. If the Borg ship is above the most expensive card in the trade row, it does not move. Okay, so that is the most expensive. It is a tie. It says if 2 or more cards are tied, the Borg moves towards the closest card, which it doesn't need to because it's as close as it needs to be. So it is going to assimilate that, which is our Jem'Hadar Dominion. Dominion, all players discard cards based on the call. Oh, that's 8. So 3 cards. I never drew a card, so let me draw first. Holy cow, 1, 2, 3. We have to discard 3 cards. That's brutal. Cobb Guild, I should probably get this game. Star Realms is a nice deck builder. Like, here's the thing. Everybody talks about Dominion, right, being the deck builder. I played that. I did not find it fun. Like, I literally did not enjoy myself. Now, again, that was the core game on digital, but it seemed like it's just like, buy whatever card you can afford, keep buying cards, hope that you eventually get enough card to buy one of the victory point cards. That just wasn't fun for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I have to discard 3. All right, I can't attack with neutral, so we'll just go ahead and get rid of that. Dang it, I can't attack with this, so we'll get rid of that. And basically this gives me recruit. That's all this gives me. That was a horrible card for him to take. And I didn't have enough to recover it. Yeah, so I'm kind of left with this and discard, which means I can move them. I don't want him to take Jem'Hadar again. If he takes this, what's that do? That lets me scrap. I think I'm going to let him take the base, because, yeah, I can't do that again. So. Oh, but I can move him, but then he would just stay put. So that doesn't matter. Okay. So that's that. Attack for 2. I have nothing to block it. 1, 2. That's it. So now back to my turn. So again, I just have 2 recruit, and I may scrap a card in my hand or discard pile. So we will scrap the recruit. I'm getting rid of all my recruit. That might not be a good idea. Probably was a bad idea. I'm thinking because I can recruit by attacking here, that's kind of good. I do play Star Realms on digital frequently. I prefer this theme though. Yeah, the Star Trek theme's nice. The only problem is the base game is just the Star Realms base game, and the Borg adds no more cards. It's just the Borg mode, basically. Also, the Borg mode is, you join late, Steve. The Borg mode is broken for solo and kind of broken for co-op. There's a couple variants. I'm playing with one of them on BGG. So we have 2 recruit. Yeah, he's going to get really strong. He's going to have 4 attack next turn. So 2 gets me nothing but the scout ship. Yay. 1, 2, 3, 4. At least I didn't have to worry about a drone coming out. 5. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So their turn. They're going to assimilate into the collective. He's up to 4. And then he's going to move towards the highest and assimilate. A drone. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. All right. Well, this is going to be a fun turn. So first, we get to get rid of a card, scrap a card in our discard pile. Now I'm kind of debating, do I want to keep getting rid of my scout ships? I think I'll go ahead and get rid of a raider this time. But now we have a drone. So the drone is going to go after a 1-cost card. I don't want to get rid of my damage. So I guess we'll get rid of the... He's going to assimilate this, and then it doesn't double activate. So that's nice too. If I do the Klingon, it doesn't double activate. And then he goes away. All right. Now they are going to attack for 4. Again, I have nothing to block that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm down to 37. 37. All right. So to get these back, I would need 9. I can't attack with anything but Klingon and Federation. I have no Federation. I do have a Klingon. So. And it's at the end of my turn those get removed. So the question is, do I worry about them taking this, or do I just go after them? They're at 26. The Borg are at 26. Man, that hurts. Look, all this attack I have, and I can't use any of it. I can only use this. These 2 cards are a waste. To recruit. So to recruit would get me a location to start doing some blocking. Let's do that. Let's use our to recruit to get a location. All right, so we know we want to do 2 attack, which you do 1 and 1. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's do 2 attack. So this gets us this back. It does 1 more to them. Now we cannot attack with Klingons anymore. So again, this is why they recommend 3 for solo, because I basically have a dead hand with these 2 cards, because I can't do neutral and I can't do the Dominion. All right. Discard that, discard that. Oh yeah, you may scrap a card in your hand or discard pile. Let's get rid of the other raider. All right, and we did my 2 recruit already. That is that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. While I do like the Dominion, I prefer Star Realms 2. It's much easier to set up, has a better theme, plays way quicker. Plus, it has good solo expansions. I don't think Dominion... No, Dominion can't be played solo at all. Yeah, so that... Not that that would affect me, because I really just started doing solo playthroughs, but... All right, so now, into my turn. Those go away. So now we're kind of starting over. It's resetting. Their turn. Hive goes away. They assimilate and join the collective. We're up to 5 up there. They are going to move towards the most expensive, which is 6 and 6. It is a tie. They're equal distance away from each other, so I get to choose. So I either can do the scrap, or what does the Federation do? I don't think I've done the Federation. The Borg gain authority equal to the cost of the card. That's a 4-cost card. I do not want them to assimilate that. So we're going to have them go this way instead. So that makes us have to scrap a card again. I guess we will scrap another scout ship. All right. Oh, it said in my hand. It's just 2 scout ships in my hand. I think I'll keep those. All right. So that's that. That's that. Now they're going to attack. 1. Oh, hang on. We got to refill. Maybe a drone comes out. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have nothing to block, so we're going to take all of that. 32. 32. All right. So we have recruit and draw a card, or trade and draw a card. I don't draw a card from the trade deck. All right. So we have a lot of damaging. Now, this is a good turn, right? Because I have multiple types of damage, and so it's whoever does the most damage is what's going to actually damage them. So we have 2 more trades. So that's 3. So we have 2. And then because we have another one, another 2. So we have 2 discard cards. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we play this, which is 12 attack. We have them discard 2 cards. So we're going to do 3 here. And we're going to do 9 here, which puts them at 16. And then the highest was the Dominion. So there we go. I was saying Jim Hadar earlier because it's got a J. The Dominion go there. So they block that. And then I can scrap a card in the trade row. So can I strategically, do I want to do that? Because that could cause a drone to come out. I don't think I want to scrap. But I do get to have them discard 2 cards, which means I get to move them twice wherever I want. So they're going to move towards the highest, which is here. They're closer here, so they're going to move here definitely. This is the one that makes me discard cards. What does the Romulans do? Player with the highest authority takes damage equal to the card they take. Well, that's if he gets here. He's not going to get there. So actually, if I move him here, he would go here or here. which the Federation is he heals. Don't like that. This one I take damage. Or put him over top of him, he doesn't move at all. I think I'm only going to move him once. Do I have to do that? Okay, they may instead. So it's may. I don't have to. Okay, so I don't have to, but it's may. So when you do the discard a card, it's a may action. I don't have to make them do that. All right, so then I have my 3 recruit, 3 trade, whatever. 4, 1. This just gives me more. I need Federation attack. This would do it, but I'm one short. One short. Dang it. I'm wanting him to take this card, so I'm definitely not taking that. Guess we'll just do another Decora class. And then do I take the Denob as well? The problem is if this turns into a higher card, he isn't going to move. I don't know what that is. This would give me, it basically give me the same thing. I just have the opportunity to also heal. I don't need healing right now. So we're going to say no. We're not going to do that. I also don't want a drone to come out and take one of my 1 cards. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This goes away. And again, so now he is going to move towards the highest. They're equal, so I get to choose. I'm going to move him this way. The hive, the player with the highest authority, takes damage equal to the card that he assimilated. So that's 2. So that wasn't too bad. No drone, no whammy. Ooh, 7. Whew. That would have been painful. There's a Bella. He's going to attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Puts me down to 25. I was saying I didn't need healing, but he just hit me for 5. Yeah, I got to get me some locations out. I got to get me some locations and some outposts out. Yeah. All right, so back to me. So I cannot use this. I can use this to make them move, but I don't think I mind them being... No, I take 7 damage. I do mind them being there. I don't want them to be there. Can I move them twice? I cannot move twice. Ugh. Cannot move them twice. I only have 1 discard. Oh, I don't like that. Okay. So I need 2 to get that back. I have 4. I can't use this 4. So the only thing this would do would allow me to move them. But if I move them here, they're coming back here. If I move them here, they're coming back here. So this card is dead. That card doesn't do anything. All right. So we do have this. 2, 3, 4. 3 recruit. So I've got 4. I think I'm going to go ahead and scrap this card while I'm at it. So we're going to scrap this card. So now we're at 6. 2, 4, 6. Oh no, we're at 8. So we're at 8 and 2 recruit. I can scrap a card in my hand or discard pile. I don't want to. So we have 8. So we're going to get this one. And then we're going to do another 6 here. So that puts them down to 10. And then now they're immune to both of those. So luckily I have plenty of Romulan cards. So I think we'll be good when those come out. And I had stopped him from beating up on me more. So that is that. Draw to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I forgot my recruit. Dang it. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I forgot my recruit. How much was my recruit again, guys? 1, 2. A measly little 2 recruit. Measly little 2 recruit. So maybe now I do go after the healing. Yeah, let's get some healing. I don't have any Federation cards though, so I need another one. An eyelash. and the drone. So that card I just acquired is now going to be assimilated. So, a 1 card. Actually, let me keep the... Now this is comboing now. Yeah, it's going to assimilate the Federation. Luckily, he's only going to heal for this card cost, which is 1. So, big whoop. Big whoop. 1. And then this goes away. All right. Now it is the Borg's turn. So, he is going to assimilate this card, even though it just happened on his turn. Or happened because it happened at the end of my turn. So, that still gets assimilated. I didn't have a chance to take that out. Maybe I should recruit first from now on. Probably a better idea. Recruit first. He's going to move towards the most expensive. This is the most expensive, so he's not moving. That, of course, brings out interrogation. So we are losing 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, we're losing 7. So we are down to 18. That's why I wanted that Federation card. Nebula class comes out. And he's going to beat up on me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoa, we're down to 12. He just escalates. The Borg just keeps getting more and more powerful as they assimilate more people into their collective. All right, so that's a 7. There's no way I'm getting rid of that. Because I can only hit him with Romulan and Federation. I have no Romulan or Federation. So, we can do this, though. So we can go ahead and put out our location. That attack is a whiff, doesn't do anything. Discard a card. Do I want to move him? Do I want to move them? So this is already a 6, meaning they wouldn't move. If I move them here and they come over here, then they'll assimilate and they'll heal. If I move them here, then they won't move. And what does the Dominion do? I have to discard 2 cards. Discard 2 cards. What's worse, having them heal for 6 or discarding 2 cards? I think discarding 2 cards is the better option. So I am going to play this to... Oh, hang on. Do I have more than 1 discard? Oh, I do have more than 1 discard. Actually, let's play this first. We're going to play the Grimaud class, which gives me a draw card. It is an outpost. So I do have 2. Yeah, so now I have 2. Still, that attack doesn't do anything. So I have 2 discard cards. So actually, what happens if I do this? I do 1, 2. Then they would come here, and I'd only have to discard... I think that's still 2 cards. No, I'd only have to discard 1 card. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to play both of these to have them draw a card. The attacks don't do anything. Because then we can do 1, 2. Right? Oh no, then they're going to go over here. Which means I take damage. Let's just move them once. Because then I get to choose. This is the closer. They'll come here. No, that means they heal. Let's move them this way. That's what I wanted to do. It means I'm discarding more cards, but so be it. Okay. And then 1 more recruit. So I have 2 recruit. So we'll do this. All right. Very unthematic turn, but we got the bases out. So, I mean, that's something. I got the bases out. Now, let me double check what they consider an outpost. I think maybe that's the difference in the shield. If it's got the red shield, it's an outpost. And if it has the gray shield, it's just a location. Because they both say location. Let's see here. Locations. Each location is a defense. Outpost locations have the red shield. Yeah, okay. So, because this is what it made me question it, because this said planetary outpost, whereas the other one says planetary base, but they both had the red shield. So it is the same thing. It must be defeated before any damage can come through. So technically right now I have 9 defense. It will only defeat as much as it can. It will not add damage unless it can defeat it. So, yeah. So their turn. This goes away. They are going to move 1. Oh, forgot. They're going to bring this into the collective. They're going to assimilate. That is going to cause Hive to happen, which is, again, they gain... Oh, no. That didn't happen. Switch that around. Sorry. They're already on a 6. They don't move. That's why I did it this way. I was like, wait a minute. That's not the one I wanted. There. This still comes out, so we'll deal with that in a second. There we go. I have to discard 3 cards. I never drew cards, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Borg need a card that says all your bases are belong to us. Yeah. I don't know, like the PvP deck, I don't know what their cards say. So I have to discard 3. We are definitely keeping our Romulans, so we're going to get rid of these 3. Definitely keeping the Romulans so we can do damage. So that's that. Attack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They cannot get through both of my bases, so they will destroy the one that is the highest. Let me double check that goes back to my discard and they don't assimilate it. So that's the first time we've done that. Taxi outpost, Borg taxi outpost with the highest defense they can destroy. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so they destroy it. So it's just normal destroy. So it goes into my discard. All right. That's all they do because they spent 5 to do that. So they don't have enough to take out my 4 because they only have 3 left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they leave that alone. All right, back to me. Oh, hang on. We got to resolve this now. So 1 drone gets assigned to me. That is not a drone, so we're safe there. I need to lose a 1-cost card. So the Jim Haddard chip, that's a combo. I don't know if I want to do that. Or the Klingon combo. I'm losing one of my combos. So I guess I'll lose the scrap card. Or again, I'll get it back because I just need to attack them to get it back. Oh, hang on. Which bad thing do I like more? Yeah, I'm good with Klingon because I'm fine with scrapping a card. All right. And the drone goes away. Drone goes away. All right. Those are the 2 that I acquired. All right. That was their turn. Back to me. So we now get to attack with our Romulans. So Romulans are drawing for, so we're attacking for 3, 7, 8, 9. We get to draw a card. Doctor Who Star Realms. Yeah, I mean, I guess you go against the Dalek. That would work. Honestly, I joke about, or I say about the Star Wars deck building game is just basically Star Realms. The problem is there's no solo mode, right? So I would honestly like a Star Wars Star Realms, because then you can have a solo mode if they put one in. Otherwise, I just use my Star Realms bosses and it does the same thing. Draw a card. It's Jim Har. That doesn't do me any good. I can't make them discard a card, so I can move them. No matter what, they're coming here. Me moving them 1 doesn't do any good because they'll still just be here. So that's fine. All right. So that card's dead. All right. So I have, what did I say? I can scrap a card in the trade row though. Let's do that. Let's scrap this and hope for something better. Not necessarily better, but he is going to go that way. I'll be taking 4 damage. I guess that's better than the 6 healing that he would get. All right, so we have 7. They're at 11. All right, so I take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 if I don't deal with these 2. Right? If I don't deal with these 2, I'll take 9. I'm at 12. but I'll do 7 to them, which will put them at 4. Do I just go guns blazing? Because I'll refresh. So my next one, I'll definitely be able to just attack. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do guns blazing. We're going to go ahead and do 4, 5, 6. Oh, hang on. 4, 7, 8, 9. I meant 9. We're just guns blazing. We're going to go ahead and do the 9 damage here. So that puts them at 2. I was wrong. My math was wrong. So that puts them at 2. Guns blazing. All right. Discard all that. Because his next turn is not going to kill me. So I'm not concerned about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. He's adding these 2 to the collective. These go away. And he moves towards the highest card, which is the 6. So he's going to move over 1. He's going to assimilate this, which then player with the highest authority, which is me, immediately takes damage equal to. So that was the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that puts us at 8. All right. Oh. Ooh, good thing he didn't grid that thing. 8. Too many villains and who? Maybe not enough thematic good cards. Possibly. Here's the thing, and I mentioned this, I think, in my first review, is like Star Realms really felt like they were trying to do like Star Trek to a small degree. And they have a lot of homages to it. But of course, they didn't have the IP. All right. So now he's going to attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. He does 4, gets rid of my outpost, and then he does the other 5 to me. That puts me down to 3. Pretty much don't care because I should have 3 damage in my hand. Yeah, my Klingon outpost alone does 5. That's another one actually. Oh, that was bad. That almost was a whiff. I almost did lose. Yeah, so the Klingon outpost does 5 damage. So that is suckable no mas Borg. There we go. Let's go ahead and flip over. I never did go get that water, did I? Flip over and do my first impressions. There you go. First impressions. You win. Not to be assimilated. Nice. Now, I will say I did win. Again, caveat in one. I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't do the 3 because this worked out. Again, it's all card draw. It's all random. I did with, again, the caveat. I did follow the variant rules, which is to create 5 decks, or 6 decks, and then shuffle 6 into the first 5 decks, and then leave the top deck without them, and then draw your card row. So I did do that. I think that gives you enough of a ramp up time to be able to actually do something. I forgot, I never even used these. So here, we're gonna heal for 8. I forgot all about that. So we ended with more hit points. And then this one here, when you reveal this, I gain 1 additional recruit. I forgot about that too. Could have done 1 additional recruit too. Components. So I mentioned this in the first video, same thing here. I like the cards, I like the graphics design. Some of the cards, of course, they had to take stills from the movies and the shows. So some of them don't hold up. They're a little blurry or not as crisp and clean. The player mats, again, not a fan of cheap, thin player mats. I wish they would have done a foldable board. I get it, they're trying to keep costs down and keep the size of the box down, but I think a player board would have been nice. Some people are trying to find high-res images to make a printable neoprene playmat. Maybe I'll look into that. The rulebook was fine. I had no problem with the rulebook. It answered all the questions I needed. Again, this is very simple in the way it works. I like that there is a nice little player aid here. The player aid, yeah, darker art because of the black space. You get a player aid because, you know, you have multiple. So unlike the complaint I had about Star Realms, they put your player aid for the boss you were fighting on the boss. So it's like you constantly would have had to keep flipping it over. Again, I had to make a photocopy. So that's there. Tokens come with it. That's it. But yeah, the components are fine. I have no problem with the components and the quality of what it is, minus a couple, again, nitpicks. It's more nitpicks than anything. Mechanics. So the mechanics for the Borg, I like what it's doing, and it does feel thematic, right? They're going out in space, they're finding different, factions, and they're assimilating them. When they assimilate them, their hive integration cards are very similar to what those factions do, right? The Federation heals, the Klingon scrap, right, and so forth. So I like that. That feels thematic. It kind of fits in there. The way their damage starts escalating, which kind of, again, it goes back into that thematicness, makes you feel that threat of the Borg taking over, is great as well. The defense, again, I think the only thing with that, and I lucked out. It didn't impact me, but I could see where in a solo game or whatnot, this blocking mechanism could hinder your game a lot if you don't diversify, because you're used to old school Star Realms where you pretty much stuck with one or two. This one, you have to get multiples of each card. For example, I never was able to do Federation because most of your Federation cards don't attack. Like they just don't, right? Because that's not thematic. But I like this. That's a neat mechanic. Again, very thematic in the fact that it's learning, right? You always say it learns. It's adjusting to the phasers, right? So that way it can defend against it. So I like that. Yeah, I think everything about this works really well. I hope the game does well so they can make more bosses to go up against in a solo atmosphere. I haven't seen any of the developers. I haven't seen any of the people out in the BGG forums, unfortunately. So I don't know how much they care about this, right? If it was just an IP grab, or whether they care about making it better and providing a errata for how to play the solo co-op mode at lower player counts. Because I've heard the exact same thing. I haven't played the PvP, can't give you feedback on the PvP, but I've heard the PvP does the same thing, that the Borg just dominates when it's a one-on-one, and even sometimes to a one-on-two, because you have those same limitations, except for now you have a human mind using an actual deck of cards to accomplish the same thing that the random movement of the Borg ship does. So do like the mechanics. It was very neat. Difficulty, I don't feel like it's too difficult. I mean, it's the same. It's Star Realms. There's just a little bit more upkeep, but again, the player aid did a good job of keeping me like with what I needed to do step by step. After about, I think, the third round, I stopped even looking at the card. So difficulty isn't very high. Fun at 2? I don't know. We have not played it co-op at 2. We played Star Realms co-op at 2. We enjoy playing Star Realms versus the bosses and the challenges. So that's fine. Fun solo. Yeah, this was a fun solo game. I enjoyed this. I would play it again. You guys want to see it again? Leave a comment down below, and I'll bring Star Trek back. Whether we play the Borg or whether we play the Star Trek versus the Star Realms, or the Star Realms versus the Star Realms, whatever. Last thing is the theme. As it was mentioned in chat, some people like the Star Trek theme better. Well, here you go. Here's the Star Trek theme. I think the theme works very well. I think what they did with the Borg and how the Borg interacts with the market row, how it interacts with the interrogation to get information and make you do things, and that's thematic to fit against who they're interrogating. The shields I already mentioned. I think it all works really good for the theme. So if you like Star Trek more than just random sci-fi, here you go. If you like random sci-fi, you can get Star Realms and pick up the Borg expansion and play it with the Star Realms. There's no reason you can't, right? The base Star Trek is really for the copy and pasted theme. You can still play the same way. You just have to know that blue, green, purple, red, and neutral versus the actual factions. So there we go. That is Star Trek Storm Realms. If you want to see more content, you got to do all that YouTube stuff, right? Like, subscribe, bell notification. Definitely leave me a comment down below if I made any rules and mistakes, because usually I do. But until next time, guys, peace.